Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Saira Mujtaba with the news at 9. The headlines. India and France review military-to-military cooperation and discuss strengthening maritime cooperation. Meghalaya government convenes all-party meeting over killings on border with Assam. IFFI 2022 concludes with a glittering ceremony in Goa. Government's goal is to build enriching filming ecosystem, says INB Minister Anurag Thakur. In China, protests against COVID restrictions spill over to several big cities. Sensex and Nifty continue record-breaking streak. And in FIFA Football World Cup, Ghana defeats South Korea 3-2. Cameroon and Serbia play out a 3-3 draw. And now the news in detail. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh held the 4th India-France Annual Defence Dialogue with Minister of Armed Forces of France, Sébastien Lecornu, in New Delhi today. In a statement, the Defence Ministry said, a wide range of bilateral, regional, defence and defence industrial cooperation issues were discussed in the dialogue. The ministers reviewed the ongoing military-to-military cooperation, which has increased substantially in recent years. They also discussed means to strengthen maritime cooperation and increase the scope and complexity of bilateral exercises. During the dialogue, one of the key areas of discussion was defence industrial cooperation with a focus on Make in India. Future collaborations and potential co-production opportunities were discussed. The ministers agreed that the technical groups from both the countries should meet early next year and take the key cooperation issues forward. As part of his visit to India, the Minister of Armed Forces of France yesterday made a day-long trip to headquarters, Southern Naval Command, and visited India's first indigenous aircraft carrier, INS Vikrant. Sébastien Lecornu stated that he was highly impressed with INS Vikrant. Defence analyst and director, Society for Policy Studies, Commodore Uday Bhaskar, opined that Sébastien Lecornu's visit to INS Vikrant is a clear indication of France's intention to extend naval cooperation with India.
The most important is the focus on industrial and technological partnership to advance India's Atmanirbharta policy. France has the profile and the pedigree to be a major partner for India in enhancing each other's strategic and security capabilities. The visit of the French Defense Minister to the Indian aircraft carrier INS Vikrant is illustrative of the potential for meaningful bilateral cooperation as far as the two navies are concerned. The first INS Vikrant in 1961 had the French Alizé aircraft on board at that time. Perhaps there is a strong case to review and revisit the possibilities for Indo-French cooperation in the naval domain.
The Meghalaya government today convened a meeting with the representatives of all political parties over the killing of 6 people in Mukro village along the Assam-Meghalaya border last week. Addressing the meeting in Shillong, Chief Minister Conrad K. Sangma informed that the government will set up border outposts or BOPs in sensitive areas across the state to ensure safety and security of the people. He also informed that the state cabinet will meet tomorrow to finalize the list of BOPs to be set up. The Chief Minister warned that action will be taken against the individuals who tried to vandalize the civil hospital in Shillong, saying that such acts of violence are unacceptable. Mr. Sangma appealed to all political leaders to work together to ensure that normalcy returns and no further violence occurs in the state. Pre-budget consultative meetings of Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman concluded today. The Finance Minister has been chairing the meetings in a virtual mode since the 21st of November. More than 110 invitees representing 7 stakeholder groups participated in 8 meetings scheduled during the period. They included representatives and experts from agriculture, agro-processing industry, infrastructure, climate change, financial sector, capital markets, services, trade, social sector, trade unions, labor organizations and economists. The Finance Ministry has invited suggestions from citizens on Union Budget for the financial year 2023-24 by the 10th of December. The announcement posted on the website mygov.in stated that with an objective to foster the spirit of Jan Bhagidari, the government invites suggestions from citizens every year to make the budget-making process participative and inclusive. It said ideas and suggestions can help transform India into a global economic powerhouse with inclusive growth. The ministry said in the past many suggestions shared have been incorporated into the annual budget. The Ministry of Power has launched a scheme for procurement of aggregate power of 4,500 megawatts for 5 years under Shakti policy. The ministry said the scheme will help the states facing power shortage and also help generation plants to increase their capacities. Supply of electricity will commence from April next year. The 53rd International Film Festival of India, IFFI, ended in Goa this evening. The closing ceremony was held at Dr. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee Stadium near Panji. Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Singh Thakur, Minister of State for I&B Dr. L. Murugan and Goa Chief Minister Pramod Sawant were among those present on the occasion. A host of film personalities including Asha Parekh and Akshay Kumar also attended the event. Speaking on the occasion, I&B Minister Anurag Singh Thakur said, IFFI opened up a nuanced world of cinema for audiences across the region, both young and old, new and festival veterans.
The 53rd IFFI concludes having made many new beginnings. For the first time, we reciprocate status by welcoming France as country of focus, marking 75 years of our diplomatic ties with France, and also India is celebrating the 75th year of independence. For the first time, IFFI had a technological park with a record footfall to showcase the latest innovations from the world of cinema. The exhibit presented the emerging world of virtual reality, animation, and innovations in storytelling. For the first time, the 75 young filmmakers who were selected to make films envisioning India at 100 years of independence. It remains my commitment to give a strong emphasis and provide a platform to regional cinema.
The minister said the government's goal is to build an enriching filming ecosystem and a future-ready industry in India under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Our correspondent reports that Telugu megastar Chiranjeevi was conferred the Indian Film Personality of the Year award. Over his 4.5-decade career, he has worked in more than 150 films in Telugu, Tamil and Hindi. Speaking at the event, Chiranjeevi said that a few recognitions are special and this award is one amongst them.
I'd like to thank GOAN and IFFI and I&B Ministry and the Government of India, my friends, my producers, my directors, my co-stars, my technicians, each and everybody who has contributed, who has supported me to reach to this megastar level. For everyone, I bow my head and thank you so much. I love you.
The coveted Golden Peacock Award for the Best Film was backed by Spanish language movie I Have Electric Dreams, directed by Valentina Morel. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts.
कंपटीशन की अगर आप कर रहे हैं तैयारी तो उनके लिए ऑल इंडिया रेडियो पर हम लाए हैं अभ्यास, एक ऐसा कार्यक्रम जिसमें आप पूछेंगे सवाल व्हाट्सएप नंबर 9289094044 पर या फिर ईमेल करेंगे abhyas.airnews@gmail.com पर और हमारे विशेषज्ञ देंगे इसका जवाब। आपका अभ्यास हमारा प्रयास।
Welcome back. You're listening to News at 9. On the penultimate day of campaigning for the first phase of assembly elections in Gujarat, political leaders made all-out efforts to sway voters in their favour. Senior BJP leader and Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed rallies at Palitana, Anjar and Jamnagar today. He said it is the unity of Gujarati people that worked for development and established peace and stability in the state over the last 2 decades. Mr. Modi credited Sauni Yojana with the upliftment of farmers in the region. He accused the Congress of anti-Kutch and anti-Narmada Yojana mindset. He said the election will be decisive in shaping the future roadmap of the state. Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge addressed a poll rally in Mehsana today. He criticized the BJP on several issues, including rising inflation and unemployment. He questioned the BJP for not filling vacancies in government jobs. Meanwhile, veteran BJP leader Jay Naran Vyas, who resigned from the party a few days ago, joined Congress today. Addressing media, he said it was the Congress government that laid the foundation of the Narmada scheme in Gujarat. Aam Aadmi Party convener Arvind Kejriwal campaigned in Surat today. More details from our correspondent.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has held election rallies at more than 20 places so far. Mr. Modi has registered his presence in almost every part of the state. Home Minister Amit Shah also held over dozens of poll meetings in the state. Chief Minister Bhupendra Patel, Party State President C.R. Patil, Chief Ministers of BJP-ruled states and about dozens of central ministers are continuously holding public meetings in favor of party candidates. On the other hand, Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge held 4 public meetings in 2 days. On behalf of Aam Aadmi Party, National Convener Arvind Kejriwal and Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann held rallies and road shows at about dozens of places so far. With Jitendra Dwivedi from Dwarka, Parna Khund, AIR News, Ahmedabad.
In China, protests against strict COVID restrictions and continuous lockdowns have spread to many big cities, including the capital Beijing and the financial hub Shanghai. Hundreds of demonstrators gathered in Beijing last night against President Xi's zero-COVID policy. In Shanghai, protests continued for a second night over the weekend. More from our correspondent.
Protesters in Shanghai again clashed with police last night as protests have flared and spread to several cities and universities, which started in response to the anger after a deadly fire killed 10 people in Urumqi, Xinjiang, apparently due to strict lockdowns. This wave of civil disobedience is unprecedented in mainland China since President Xi Jinping assumed power a decade ago as frustrations mounts over his signature zero-COVID policy. Anshuman Mishra, AIR News, Beijing.
Meanwhile, China today reported a 5th straight daily record of over 40,000 new COVID-19 infections. India-Malaysia Joint Military Exercise Harimau Shakti 2022 commenced in Malaysia today. The exercise at Pulai in Kluang will culminate on the 12th of December. The annual training event between the two sides is being conducted since 2012. This year, combat-experienced troops of the Garhwal Rifles Regiment and the Royal Malay Regiment are participating in the exercise. On to business news now. The Sensex and the Nifty continued their record-breaking streak for a third consecutive day today. More from our business desk.
Sensex gained 211 points to close at a fresh closing high of 62,505. Nifty rose 50 points to also end at an all-time high of 18,563. In the forex market, the rupee appreciated just 2 paise against the US dollar. The domestic currency closed at 81 rupees and 67 paise against the American currency. At the multi-commodity exchange, gold futures rose 108 rupees to 52,652 for December contracts, and global crude oil prices plunged nearly 3% to near its lowest level this year. Brent crude was hovering around $81 per barrel. Lalema Aneja Dang for AIR News.
On to sports now. Cameroon and Serbia played a thrilling 3-3 draw in a high-intensity Group G match today and kept hopes alive of entering last 16 at the FIFA World Cup in Qatar. In the second match of the day, Ghana defeated South Korea 3-2 in Group H match. Ghana led 2-0 at half-time. And in the last match, Brazil will lock horns with Switzerland in a Group G match at 9:30 p.m. In our bilingual live phone-in program, Public Speak at 9:30 p.m. tonight, we will bring you a live discussion with Kiran Gopal Vask, Director of National Health Authority on Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission and Ayushman Bharat Health Account. Listeners can ask questions to the expert on Ayushman Bharat Health Account, that is Aadhaar card, the registration procedure, benefits and other queries related to the digital health ID card on telephone number 011-2371-7106 and 011-2331-4444. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. India and France review military-to-military cooperation and discuss strengthening maritime cooperation. Meghalaya government convenes all-party meeting over killings on border with Assam. IFFI 2022 concludes with a glittering ceremony in Goa. Government's goal is to build enriching filming ecosystem, says INB Minister Anurag Thakur. In China, protests against COVID restrictions spill over to several big cities. Sensex and Nifty continue record-breaking streak. And in FIFA Football World Cup, Ghana defeats South Korea 3-2. Cameroon and Serbia play out a 3-3 draw. That's all in the news at 9. Good night.